We're now on Daf Samach Vavam days, and hopefully, if we finish the Amud, then we'll have finished the ninth parak of Nedarim. Tana, we learned. How was it that Rabbi Yishmael was able to beautify the niece? Shein Toseves Haisala. She had lost a tooth, and Rabbi Yishmael apparently employed the best dentist in town and replaced her lost tooth, the Asal of Yishmael Shein Shel Zahav Mishalo, a golden tooth. And he paid for it, he financed it. And that's how he brought back her natural beauty, and her uncle agreed to marry. Now, what's going on here with a golden tooth? The Yavitz, Rav Yaakov Emden, is upset about this. He says a woman who has a golden tooth is not very beautiful, not very attractive. And he offers a number of possibilities. Number one, it doesn't mean that it was really a golden tooth. But it was such an expensive ordeal to find an expert who could create, I guess this is more of a technician than a dentist, I don't know. Anyway, he could create a tooth that is so beautiful, it is so appropriate for her teeth that it looks like the other teeth. And that's an expensive proposition to pay for such a difficult malacha, and that's called zah because it's so expensive. Or he somehow coated all her teeth to look exactly like that false tooth. Or all her teeth had a certain complexion that looked a little bit like a glow, and this tooth that he replaced looked in complexion like all the other teeth. Ki shachar Rabbi Yishmael, when Rabbi Yishmael died, Pasach Alea Hu Saftina, there was a eulogist who gave a eulogy, and he said, Haki, this is what he said. B'nos Yisrael, al Rabbi Yishmael, b'chen a cry for Rabbi Yishmael, Hamal Bishchem, Big Day Shani, Adonim, Amala, Ade, Zav, al Levushchem. Like Shaul HaMelech, who was eulogized by David HaMelech, and David describes the beautiful things and clothing and ornaments that Shaul gave to the B'nos Yisrael, so too, that was Rabbi Yishmael. I remember we used to go up to Boston on Tisha B'Av, or some of us were already there for the summer, and the Rav used to teach us the kiddush. And he used to always quote this Gemara that we just learned here about Rabbi Yishmael, that B'nos Yisrael aniosem, that really they are nos, but aniosan b'navlosan. And he used to darshan that this is symbolic of Golus for Klal Yisrael, in which the pressures of Golus and poverty and subjugation and so forth make us look ugly sometimes. But it's all chitzoni, it's all external. It's all a result of the difficult, harsh Golus that Klal Yisrael experienced. And perhaps the allusion here of B'nos Yisrael Naos is to Shechina, because Shechina has been Lashon B'Keva. So the relationship between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael looks sometimes on the outside to be a very strained relationship, but in truth, it's a very close relationship. And we are really known. Now, the Gemara goes on to tell us about how far Tanoim were willing to go to try to make shalom between a husband and a wife, even if it would entail being mezalzel b'kavod HaTorah. And this created a big machlokas as to how far the Chacham could go. It's reminiscent to the story of David HaMelech and Michal Bashol, if you know what I'm talking about. Hahu di'amalei l'debesei, a man said his wife, Kodom, she'iyat nenesli ad shetak'imi tavlishech l'Rabbi Yehuda u'Rabbi Shimon. You're going to be usher to be nene from me. So at nenesli, unless you give food to Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon, the two great Tanoim, and they'll eat your food. Rabbi Yehuda told Rabbi Yehuda, even though it was a little bit of a zilzul b'kvodo, or maybe a very big zilzul b'kvodo, that he has to eat from this woman's tavshil, because so said her husband, a chutzpah. Amar, he said, Kal v'chomer. Let's derive it from the parsha of Sot, with the Kal v'chomer, the very famous Agadah. Ma laso shalom b'nish l'shtar Torah shmi shenita b'kedusha. We don't know whether or not the Mayim Orim are going to achieve the goal of Hashkana Shalom, meaning that we'll find out that she was innocent. It could be that she was guilty. So this whole episode, this whole enterprise is doubtful as to what the outcome would be. And yet the Torah permits taking the shame of Hashem and obliterating it in this concoction called Mayim HaMa'orim, only for the possibility that maybe it'll be Mashkin Shalom Ben Ish Lish by me and I. If I eat from this tavshil, then for sure I'm going to be Mashkin Shalom Ben Ish Lish. So Allah has come to come. How much more so should I be toying? Because Baruch was vocal on his kavod, and his shame his name would be subject to mechika for a safek hashkana shalom. How much more so I could be mavater on my kavod? But Reb Shimon, no. This is Yikom Adin Sahar. Lo toim. He refused to eat from the tavshil. He sent a message to the Baal, you chutzpah, you think that you could take a neder and force me to eat from your wife's cooking. That's a zilzul in the Rabbanon. That's a pegia in Kroda Torah. I'm not going to allow it. Reminds me of one of the Rosh Yeshiva in Brooklyn, where I was brought up, that if you didn't walk backwards when you left him, he would call you back to make sure that you would walk backwards. Anyway, what did Rav Shimon do in his disappointment, so to speak, with the Baal? On Shovekloa, he puts a whammy on him. Again, this is Machlokas Rishonim, whether to take this literally. Omar, Rabbi Shimon declares, Yamusu kol b'nei almona. She will become an almona, because he will die, and not only that, his children will die, all because of the neder that their father took. But al yazuz shivim koma, I'm not going to move 1 inch from the covenant Torah to be mezalzel the covenant Torah and eat from this tav shall be owed. And there's another reason why Rabbi Shimon, refused to eat from the tav shil, ki hechi delo l'sragli l'minda, because if he would capitulate, then the word would get out that this is like a game. Let's play this game. Let's impose all kinds of stupid things onto the Chachamim by taking a neder that seems to endanger the shalom bias between Ish ve'Isha. And in fact, we're going to see a number of cases here where people took Nedarim that entailed a zilzul in the Chachamim. Hahu di'amal l'dvei, so a man turns to his wife, and he says, Konam she'iyat nenesli, I'm putting upon you a neder that you'll be also to have any hana from me. Ad shetaroki bo b'Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, until you spit in the face of Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, the Gadol HaDor. And what did Rabbi Shimon do? In order to make shalom bein ish le'isha, he's going to allow this woman to spit. And he invites her. Asa, she comes. But the rakat al levushet, and she spits on his clothing. Amalei, and Rabbi Shimon then was matir the neder. Amalei, so Rav Achabi Ditti turns to Ravina when he hears this story, and he says, he says the following, that the man who took this neder, the husband, wanted to be mizalzel b'chodesh Rabbi Yishmael. He wanted her to spit in his face, not on his begotten. So she never fulfilled her husband's mandate, and therefore she's still asurlo. How could Rav Shimon Gamliel be matir the neder? Amalei, so Ravina says to Rav Acha, you know what? Berik al money to Rabbi Shimon Gamliel zilusa ramsei. Spitting on the clothing of Rabbi Shimon Gamliel is a zilzul in a chush of a person like Rabbi Shimon that equals spitting in someone's face. So therefore, that zilzul gadol b'chvodol shel Rabbi Shimon is a fulfillment of the condition that the husband imposed upon his wife, and therefore, when she did so, she's allowed to have hanor from her husband. Another story. Ahudi Amala Libabesa. A man turns to his wife. She was very ugly. And the truth is, you know, I've heard cases of ugly women, but this one defeats all the charts. He takes a konam on his wife and he says, Iat nenesli, you're not allowed to have any anor from me, which would force him to divorce her if this neder is kakef, it's valid. Ashetari mum yofa shebech l'Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yosef. Now we're going to interpret this Gemara like the Ran first. And that is, the word mum means ezedama, klum, mu'um, like it's with an aleph. If you could find anything that's yofa, and Rabbi Shmuel will agree that that's yofa, find some element of beauty in your body, then the neder is not chal, and it will remain married. So Rabbi Shmuel now wants to find some element of beauty so that the neder won't be chal and the marriage will continue. So Rabbi Shmuel sends emissaries, he sends his talmidim to check out this woman. Amar lehem. Shema Rosha Noah, maybe the structure of her head is beautiful, not necessarily the features. Amrulo Skalgal, her head is round shaped. It's not a beautiful head. Shema Sa'arana, maybe that's beautiful hair. So they answered, Domel Anitze Pishtan. That reminds me of some of those comic books, you know, where you see the hair coming out like electric wires, you know. Shema Neano, so she has beautiful eyes, perhaps. They flop again. The trufos head, their round, ugly eye. Shema's melanos, then she has nice ears. Kfulos head. Kfulos head means they're large ears that if you fold them over, you'll have plenty of room to fold them. Shema chotmeno, maybe she has a nice nose. You know, it's hard for me to believe that a woman who has a funny shaped head and ugly hair and her eyes are funny, that she would have beautiful, and even her ears are funny. Shemachot b'no, maybe she has a nice nose. I don't even know how you can look at the nose. So the Gemara answers, Bolamhu. He says Bolam means kavutz. Kavutz is in Yiddish gekvetched. You know, she has like a punched-in nose. Shema Sifsel Sadnos, maybe she has nice lips. So Talmidim come back and report almost saying they're very thick, ugly lips. Shema Tzavara, no, maybe she has a nice neck. He's really desperate here. Shakatu. It's a very small neck, unusually small. He writes here, V'nirish Rosha Munach Bein Ksefeha. It looks like her head is between her shoulders. Of course, she has no neck. Shema Kresa, no, maybe she has a nice belly. Sorahu. She's got a very fat belly. My God. I don't blame the husband for taking such a neder. I don't know why he married her to begin with, but anyway. Shema Raglenos, maybe she has nice legs. Rechavos kishal avza. They're wide, like an avz. I don't know. He doesn't tell you what an avz is. I think an avz is like a duck feet or something like that. Maybe you could look in your translation. Shemeshmona. Maybe she has a nice name. Lachluchishma. Her name is the dirty one. Omalahem, you know, Yafa, that's a nice name. Koronoso lachlucha, shehimeluchleches b'mumit. You know, it's an appropriate name. She's kind of dirty with all sorts of blemishes. So finally, Sharia, Rabbi Shmuel found something that's good about her, so to speak. It's not really her physical beauty, but she has a nice name. I wouldn't say it's the nicest name in the world, but at least it's an appropriate name. And he was makir her to her husband based on that. So all this is based on the Ran. However, there's another interpretation here, based on a different girsa, that her husband had said to her, Konam she'iyat nenisli amna shetiri mun yafa sheba. What does that mean? Habal madiris isha im tatzliach laharos davar echad yafa sheyesh ba l'Rav Shimon Gamliel. If you could find one nice thing that you can show Rabbi Shimon Gamliel that's yafa, so here it works just the opposite of the way the Ran said it. That the neder will be chal. Just let me get the negative and the positive here. That the neder will be chal if Rabbi Shmuel could find something beautiful in you. And at the end, Rabbi Shmuel could not find anything beautiful in her, and therefore he was matir in that. Okay, the final agadita here at the end of Perek Eliezer. Hahu bar Bavel, v'solach li'ar Yisrael v'nosim isis. So the story is that if a man from Bavel, for example, marries a woman from Eretz Yisrael, there's going to be a communication problem between them. Because the Aramaic that was spoken in Bavel and the Aramaic that was spoken in Eretz Yisrael were different. They were like different dialects, so to speak. Amallah, he says to his wife, his Israeli wife, Bashili li trei talfi. What he meant to say was 2 lentils. That was a phrase that they used in Bavel to mean a small amount. Those, I'm not very hungry. Prepare for me a small amount. But again, a substantial amount. Not. She didn't understand the idiomatic phrases of the Babylonians. She was Israeli. And Bashile Trey Talpi, she took him literally. She took 2 lentils and she presented it with 2 cooked lentils. Imagine a bowl with 2 cooked lentils in it. Rasach, he gets angry at her. They're starving. Like Asa, kind of. Limachar. All right, let's try another, the next day, let's try something else. Maybe we'll be more successful. Amallah, Bashili Griva. Griva means a certain volume in the Aramaic spoken in Bavel. And that would be enough to feed the whole family. He thought that because she understood Shnei Adashim as only 2, now she'll figure out that he got angry at her because there wasn't enough to eat. So she'll understand the remez that cook enough to feed all of us at the Suda. But she didn't understand it. Pashila lay griva. She actually cooked him a griva, which is a massive amount. Okay, it doesn't say that he got angry at her, but certainly he didn't expect her to take him literally when he said griva. I mean, what he meant by griva was, a substantial amount, but she, cooked up a storm. Another time, Amalei Zili Isili Tre Butsini. Okay, Butsini are watermelons in Babylonian Aramaic. Oslasvi Isili Tre Shragi, she brought him 2 candles, because in the Israeli dialect, the word Butsini refers to candles. Okay, now he's had it already. I mean, he asked for watermelons and he got candles. So to rebuff her, he says, Amalei Zili Tavri Yason al Reisha Devava. Take these 2 candles and break them on the door, on the entrance to the house. On the threshold of the house. Break them on the threshold. She didn't understand what he meant. She thought that she's meant to take these candles and break them on Bava. What's Bava? Bava is the Pesach Habayis, but also Bava is the name of a Tana. Havi Yosef Bava ben Buta Bava. Yosef means he sat. Bava ben Buta. So we called him by the name of both Bava and Buta, right? Because it says Reisha de Bava, and he in fact was Bava ben Buta, and he was sitting at the Pesach. And now she takes these 2 candles, Kadoy and Dina. Why was Bava ben Buta sitting at the Pesach? He was there at the Bezdin, and he was judging people. Don dinim ben ish l're'eu. So she thinks that Reisha de Bava, which her husband told her, meant on the head of Bava ben Buta, who was sitting at the Bava. She takes the 2 candles and breaks them over the head of Bava ben Buta. Now, Bava ben Buta, instead of getting angry, he figures, hey, something's going on over here. Why are you doing this? This is exactly what my husband told me to do. So Bava ben Buta says to her, you wanted to fulfill the will of your husband. Therefore, hamakom yotzi mimech shnei banim ki Bava ben Buta. Hashem should bless you. Connected these 2 Neros that you broke on my head. God will have compassion on you, and you'll be the mother of 2 Talmidei Chachamim ki Bava ben Buta. The afal gav she'osa b'zeh beira shezilzlo v'kvod chachamim komakom kevon sheskavno v'tomim l'shem shamayim l'kaim ritzon bayil l'chein bircha ben Bava. He blessed her that she should be the mother of 2 Talmidei Chachamim as great as Bava ben Buta. Now, it doesn't say that this blessing was fulfilled, unless you have something in your commentaries, but I'm going to assume that this did come to pass. So again, keep in mind that in Aramaic, the word botzina really means avtichim, meaning watermelons. But in another Targum, which is based on Targum Yushal on Eretz Yisrael, the word botzina means neros. Hadron Olecha Rabbi Eliezer And the daf for tomorrow starts the 10th parak, Nara Murasa, very, very famous parak in many yeshivas. This is the chapter that they study in a summer's mind when they learn Nedarim. So we're going to have to learn this daf over Shabbos because otherwise, it's hard to start a parak without learning the first daf of the parak. That puts the whole parak into perspective. Okay, let me take this opportunity to wish you a great Shabbos. Parshas Vayigash. Batzlocha.